Students, today in this video we are going to discuss about strong acid, strong base, weak base. Till now we understood the Arrhenius concept of acid and bases. We know that substance which dissolve in water and dissociate produce hydrogen ion. That substance shows the property of acid. And according to the Arrhenius, bases the substance which dissolve in water and dissociates and produce hydroxide ions. They shows the property of bases. So till now we understood the Arrhenius concept of acid and bases. Now today we are going to discuss about strong acid, strong base and weak base. And as well as we are going to discuss about dilute and concentrated acid. So let's see what are these things. So first of all we are going to start with strong acid. I already given the number of examples of a strong acid. Some common examples: hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, perchloric acid, nitric acid, hydrobromic, hydroiodic acids. So these are some common examples of acid. Now, why they are called the strong acid? So let's find out the answer of this question, that why they are called strong acid. They are called strong acid because when they dissolve in water, they get dissociate completely and produce hydrogen ion. So strong acids are those acids which dissolve in water, get dissociate completely, means they get dissociate 100%. 100% they get dissociate and they produce hydrogen ion. So let's take an illustration. Here when we dissolve HCl, in water, what happen? This HCl get dissociate and produce hydrogen ion and chloride ion. This is your chloride ion, and this is your hydrogen ion. So what we are getting it? We are getting here hydrogen ion and chloride ion. So the product what we are getting, hydrogen ion and chloride ion. So here HCl is completely get dissociate. So in this figure you are able to see that this red point, this red color, this hydrogen ion get completely dissociate, break down in this HCl get break down in H plus and Cl minus, that is chloride ion. So they totally dissociate, they totally break down, and then we get hydrogen ion. So that's why all these acids when dissolve, they dissociate completely and produce hydrogen ion in the solution. So that's why they are called the strong acid. Now, weak acid. They are called weak because when they dissolve in water and they does not dissociate completely. So what happened here? The example, like take example of acetic acid, that is CH3COOH. It's a weak acid. And when it dissolves in water, what happens? It does not dissociate completely. So here you will get CH3COO minus plus H plus ion. They give H plus ion, but they does not dissociate. They does not give complete hydrogen ion in the solution. So that's why they are called weak acid. Here the illustration is here, the figure is here, that you are able to see that these red molecules, some of the hydrogen ion is the hydrogen ion, this H plus ion is dissociate, but all these hydrogen ions are not getting dissociate from the acetic acid. So what happens here? They are not completely dissociate and does not produce H plus ion completely in the solution. So that's why they are called the weak acid. Basically, all the examples like oxalic acid, lactic acid, citric acid, acetic acids, carbonic acids, these are the acids which are weak. And basically, weak acids are also called organic acid. Organic acid. They are mostly found in the fruit. You will know that oxalic acid you will get in tomatoes. Lactic acid, milk, you will get in milk. Citric acid, lemon. Acetic acid, vinegar. So these are the very weak acids which are basically found in the organic substance. So this is all about the strong acid and weak acid. Now let's take the next topic, that is strong base. Now, strong base. So what is a strong base? Strong base, same as the strong acid, when they dissolve in water, they get dissociate completely and produce, now they get produce hydroxide ion. They get produce hydroxide ion completely in the solution. So that means they are known as strong base. So let's take the example of some strong base, like your sodium hydroxide, lithium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide. So there are some more, these are the some common examples of strong bases. Let's take one example, NaOH. This is your sodium hydroxide. When they dissolve in water, what happens? They dissociate completely and means they break down completely and produce Na plus and OH minus ion, hydroxide ion. So they are producing completely, they are dissociating completely and produce hydroxide ion. They are known as strong bases. So these are the examples of strong bases. Now let's take the examples of, let's take the example of weak base. So weak base are those weak base are those substance which does not dissociate completely, does not dissociate it completely and does not produce hydroxide ion completely. So they are known as weak bases. So weak bases, ammonia, NH3, ammonia, these are the weak bases which does not produce, they does not dissociate completely and produce hydroxide ion. They produce hydroxide ion but very little amount and does not produce totally hydroxide ion from it in the solution. So they are known as weak base. Now we are going to discuss about concentrated acid and dilute acid. Now our next topic, dilute acid and concentrated acid. So dilute acid, we already know that the acid which produce hydroxide ion. So the acid which produce hydroxide ion, they always produce hydroxide ion, and we are using here H plus sign. They are also called proton proton, because we know that hydrogen having only one electron, okay, and proton is here. So when it gives the one electron, it rests only the proton is left with hydrogen. So that's why it is called proton. So now this acid always produce proton in the when it dissociate in water. Now what is dilute acid? So let's take an illustration here. When here is lots of water molecule, where the water molecule H2O is large amount. When H2O is present in large amount, and acid is this black color is showing the amount of acid. So amount of acid is less. Amount of acid is less. Then we called it dilute acid. So dilute acids are those acids which are very present in very less amount in a water. That is called dilute acid. Concentrated acid, just opposite of it. If there is a water molecule, less water molecule, amount of water molecule is less, H2O amount is less, and acid amount, this black color shows the acid. So acid amount is more. Acid is more in amount called concentrated acid. So they are both are acid, but according to the amount of water molecule and its own concentration tell us that it is dilute or concentrated. Basically these concentrated acids are very dangerous. We should handle it very carefully. Now our next thing that we are going to discuss, that how to make dilute acid. Now in this topic we are going to discuss about how acid should be added in water or water should be added in acid. So if we want to make any dilute concentration of dilute acid, what we have to do? Should we use this? We should add acid, should added in water, or this water should added in acid. So let's take how we have to add water, how we have to make acid dilute. So let's take one. We always add acid. We always add acid into water. We should always add acid into water. So why we should add acid into water? So let's take the explanation of it. Here, when we add acid, so what happens? These acid molecules, there is two type of reactions takes place. Two type of reaction. One is exothermic and here is the endothermic. So what happens actually here? When we add acid, take example of HCl. When we add HCl in water, what happens? What the two reaction is taking place? HCl is breaking. So here HCl bond is breakdown. So here energy is used, and if energy is used, that is called endothermic reaction. But here this hydrogen ion is also going to add with H2O molecules. The H2, this hydrogen ion is adding with this water molecules. So we know that this is your hydronium ion is forming. So this is called hydration. Addition of hydrogen is known as hydration. So here there is a breakdown of bond is taking place, and here the addition of hydrogen is taking place in the H2O molecules. So in a small area there is a large concentration of H plus ion is present, and here constantly there is a formation of new bond take place. Covalent bond is taking place with this H2O molecules. So due to this formation of covalent bond and the process of hydration, there is a lots of energy release. Lots of energy get released, and that is called exothermic reaction. And it becomes the exothermic reaction. Lots of energy get released, lots of heat get released. Heat in the form of heat get released. So when we add, so we should always add acid in water and drop by drop, slowly. We should add acid slowly in water, so that whatever the energy or heat released, the water get absorbed it, and when we put it drop by drop, so that whatever the heat comes out in that particular solution, that get absorbed by the particular water molecules, and it does not get too much vaporized that all the things become boiled. So that's why we should add acid in water drop by drop slowly. So this is all about that how we have to make the acid dilute. We should never add water in the acid. No, it becomes, if we add water in the acid, so what happens, there is no one is present there to absorb the heat, and it becomes the splash out, and it becomes too much vaporized, and too much boiled, and sometimes the container may burst and you get also skin burn or injury. So we should add we should add acid into water drop by drop, so that the heat, because it's an exothermic reaction, so due to exothermic reaction, whatever the heat produced, they get absorbed, and that much not too much vaporized, so that all the things get boils and comes out from the container or burst the container. So we should always take care of this. So this is all about the today's topic. Thank you so much.